Hey guys, welcome to our review of Kamen Rider Saber episode 11, 12 is what we're doing. As always, I'm your host, the Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
The Cinder Blaze.
Welcome back. We got done watching this episode yesterday so that you guys could comment on it and we could talk about it today, but before that, let's dive into what we thought, and I don't know, I still didn't like it that much.
I was.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was conflicted when we watched it last night. I'm still a little conflicted about it. I don't know if I fully hate it, but I do think it's probably pretty bad.
Like, for me, like, despite how much I love him, Espada tanked this episode for me.
Yeah.
Like, real bad. Like, they were just talking about it for, like, I don't know how long. Like, don't go in alone. Don't go in alone. Like, this fucker, or Caliber, just got a new, shiny new form that completely owned your ass last episode. And you go back to 1v1 him, like, he ain't gonna give you that slack again. That ain't your father.
Yeah.
So, like, I get, like, he feels like he has, like, a duty to fulfill. And, like, he's, like, the only one who can, know this location. But, like, come on. Like, Saber basically knows what happened in the past. And, like, we were given, like, so much exposition about that whole promise. This giant burden that he was bearing for these last 12 episodes. And it's, like, the most simplest, mundane shit. And, like, the fact that, like, he's making such a big deal out of it in front of us, it's just like, come on, dude. Like, you did not die for a petty ass reason like this. Like, that's, like, the most disappointing part of it for me, because honestly, I love the meme-ish aspects of his character, and to see him die like that makes me a little sad.
Yeah. And you mentioned that, like, he was the only one who knew about that location. Why would he not tell someone?
Yeah.
Just someone. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to what they're doing. He should have, like, at least informed them a little bit, but no, it was just like he referred to it as his convictions, but it's just stuck up pride,
like,
keeping him, like, causing him to go there alone.
He was so
and get his ass killed.
He was so full of himself that happened. Like, there are so many people that could help you, and you could formulate a plan, but he had to be the one to kill this one guy. There was no motivation for him to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we're giving shit about, like, him being suicidal, basically. Rentro basically did the same thing. Like, under different circumstances, where he just, like, he goes and fights, like, two of the bosses that Saber's dealing with, and he's like, don't worry, I got these guys. You go help a spot. It's like, dude, you're just feeding into this issue.
Why would, like,
I know you're trying to...
That's another thing. Why would you let him do this? What are you doing?
Like these guys just don't know, like, how strong they actually are, and they're just fighting, like, the dumbest battles. Like, Rentro can barely beat. Like, he honestly couldn't beat one of those like, the beast bosses. And, like, he's half dead right now. Like, look at him. He can't even fucking stand. And he's about to fight two of them. And Saber fucking let him. Like, literally, they're just gonna kill him and just chase you if, like, they wanted to. Like, why? Like, the only, like, bright side I could probably see from this episode is, like, their reactions to this death might make this series better if Slash and Buster kind of, like, get off their asses and kind of, like, take control of this team, because they are the senior members, and if they, like, act a little bit more like the team leaders in this scenario, like, maybe we wouldn't have had to deal with, like, this mess, like, the younger guys picking fights that they obviously shouldn't, and, like, they're not the main characters. They're not gonna BS their way out of this. So.
And like those two were there. Like what is it? Espada remembered. He recognized that, oh hey, those colors correspond to our colors way back when. And the same thing is happening, and because we watched that spin-off episode, and also just because we know that they're senior members, they were there. They saw the plan in action. They saw what was going down. If they didn't remember this plot, then like, what does that say about those characters? Um, it was that strange like writing choice that sort of took away from, I guess, their agency in this episode, that I thought was really not good.
Yeah.
I guess part of why I was conflicted, mainly about Espada's death, it's I'm torn between like the somewhat surprising aspect of it, like there being a death this far and isn't that surprising. I mean, Alex even joked about it during our watch along, like it's not Christmas yet, it's so that's a trend. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's a trend. Like it was a little surprising to me that they were willing to do this with the tertiary writer, the one who has like a bunch of upgrades, who has the same belt as the main character. It doesn't seem like the one that would die, like the other three seem a little more expendable. So that's surprising. I'll give him that. But at the same time, it also feels like this entire storyline with his dad is now like, are we just dropping that? He was the main focus for that part of this story.
Yeah.
Like, are they just removing that and moving on now? Or plus, I know that people were, a little whatever about our reactions towards that because we were laughing our asses off. But like, it's so hard to take a death seriously in shows like this sometimes because you don't know if it's gonna stick.
That's true. Yeah.
If it's gonna stick, it could. And I'll give them props if it does. But
yeah,
I mean,
I could see him coming back as what do they call it, Jao Dragon or whatever. I think that would be interesting. Like maybe that's part of what happens when you use when you get killed by that form. You like, or Tassel shows up. Maybe he could actually use his powers as like the fourth wall breaker to just bring him back from a different scene or something. I don't know, but it doesn't feel like this is quite the end for him. He might just show up again toward the end as like it's him sort of situation. I don't know. Just some big reveal for them.
Yeah. And I think killed a character off like that. Like usually when they decide to kill a character, they wrap the whole scene like around that death, but it's kind of like it was like a battle, like cut, and then at the like hours after that battle, then we just see him just laying there for like the longest time. Saber picks him up, like he's like, "Oh, bro, are you dead?" And he's like, "Yeah," and then he dies. And we're just like the execution of that was so off, and it was almost like funny in a way. It's like, oh, he's still there, and it felt like he was still alive like, the entire time. That's why we were kind of like giggling because like he just went there and just got waxed like real hard, and he's just like laying there and just pick him up. It's like, see, told you we should have gone together as a group, but he's just dead.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And like
either like kill him in that moment or like have. I don't want him to like just be dead like by the time Saber gets there because that would just be even worse. But it just didn't feel.
It's weird because like
it didn't feel like executed well.
Yeah, and like the way he died, you know, the way he was sent off by the show, it felt like, oh yeah, the show is taking his side of this. Like, this is what he should have done, and he sacrificed himself nobly. He didn't. He really didn't. And
No, he rushed in like an idiot.
I hope they address it in some way. It's just, with Saber, the quality, like, fluctuates. Man, I don't even want to say it fluctuates, because, like, most time I don't think the story really hits. The only thing this show does well for me is, like, world building. And that's it.
Yeah, the world building has definitely been fun, and like some of the character interactions, like I've loved Slash and like his interactions with the rest of the team, and like those like small things really make it. And I felt like Aerosol, as you were saying, like Spada was like an important leg for the show to stand on. Like he was actually like for the main plot, like he was incredibly important. Like not even Saber had like much like weigh in on like the main driving forces in the story as much as he did. And for them to kind of like axe him, like that whole like plot line with his father, it's like who's gonna carry that mantle? Like no one cares as much as he did, and it just feels like a complete waste. If they just like completely like change the story, better than it might be excusable.
Yeah.
It just sucks. If you were like actually caring about that plot, then I guess the writers disagree with you.
It also doesn't help that like Corey's a little behind again. It also doesn't help that, you know, for so much of Toma's stuff has been his amnesia and his inability to remember his relationship with Kento and Kento? Whatever. Espada. And Luna, who we finally have a name drop for. But now we get to the point here where it's like, A, the promise is nothing. It's nothing.
We'll stay together, right?
And we just axed one of the characters that was important to that. I guess if we had a little bit more of like, okay, why is she important? She just seems like a person he knew. Same with Espada. We just were told that they were friends, but we don't see it that often. A little bit, but now he's gone. We definitely don't see it with Luna. Why should we care?
It is weird that they're basing so much of, you know, this is such an important memory, and hey, we'll stick together, right? Oh, this 6-year-old could not hold on to another 6-year-old as an entire portal sucked her in. This was not set up well.
Yeah. Yo, you know what might be pretty neat? If Green, I think his name is Kentaro or something, if he like sees Espada die the way he did and changes his ways. Because like he's also like he was like following that path of just like always rushing into battle, and if like one of them just like if his idol just dies doing that same thing, oh man, he might actually become a bearable character.
Not to mention, he was supposed to be watching Espada.
Oh, that's true.
He was tasked with doing that. If they actually give us like real consequences to this, that'd be great. I don't know if it will happen, but that would be great.
The thing is, they paired him with like the person he had the weakest relationship with, like not, you know, in terms of the narrative, but in terms of like the characters we like and the interactions we've seen so far. For most of it, he has been distant. And it's like, are you really his friend? But yeah, to see all the others who actually might care, that'll be interesting. But so far, not having it.
Yeah, maybe like Tassel can do something because he feels like a somewhat godlike figure in this series. You know?
God orders Postmates.
Yeah, Why
And
not?
the Postmates guy has the Sword of Arthur.
Yeah.
Hey, do we want to move into comments? All right.
Sure.
First comment comes from Ryugano, who says, I like this episode. Rintaro is the fucking guy. The dude. The man. He's so cool. Going up to fight despite an injury so Toma can go to Kento, even though it was probably too late for him. The point is, Rintaro is cool. I love him. Slash is cool too. Dodging like a goddamn pro. I will agree with you there. I did like Rintaro this episode. We talked about that at length, but like the crux of the episode is really what we had an issue with. But Rintaro, good time.
I always like seeing Rintaro.
100%.
I like him a lot more than I ever
He's
thought I
written
would.
so well, and
really
it's so refreshing to have a non-antagonistic secondary writer.
Yeah.
He goes on to say, I guess one small problem I had is that Kento was able to be like, wait a minute, this seems familiar when it came to the Megiddo plan, but not everyone else caught that. I guess maybe they thought it was different enough, or maybe the Megiddo invasion was a lot faster 15 years ago and they didn't catch it. I can see what Stratos means when he thinks Toma's backstory is weak. It is pretty much bare bones, but hey, as I always say, we're still early on in the series, and I hope it picks up a lot more later, even though I'm enjoying it so far. You say that, yeah, we're still early, and I get that, that is sometimes a good enough excuse, but if you want to make a major story beat like this, you can't fall flat on your face like that. It's not a good look.
Yeah.
You should do it like the second time. You repeat the same plot point like Ghost did.
The second time, it was like 10 times.
Well, while I'm not someone who typically agrees with like, oh, give it X number of episodes and it'll be fine. Like, give it 2 episodes, give it 5. There's not always a set number of episodes they have to give a show before it becomes good.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, we are 11, 12 episodes in, and this is the status quo they has decided to set for how the quality of the episodes are going to go.
Yeah.
So this is what you should probably expect going forward.
Ryugano goes on to say, I will say, when Toma and Kento were gonna do the pinky promise thing, I was like, oh, fuck you, don't do this. And when Kento's hand dropped, I was like, fuck you. The emotions got me hard, I guess. Wow. I'm gonna assume Kento is dead unless the next episode said he's like incredibly injured or so. Are you okay, Alex?
I'm fine.
Alright, incredibly injured or something, but I'm gonna assume he's dead, which means nothing in modern Kamen Rider, so, wait, which means, gonna assume he's dead, which means nothing in modern Kamen Rider, so maybe he'll come back. Maybe he comes back as Falchion, and if not that, maybe use the Phoenix book. I don't know, I'm just spitballing ideas. Yeah, it was strange to take him out of the show. But I will, if, something like this sticks, I'll give them props for, like, not spoiling it in the preview. So, yeah.
Yeah. They love to do that.
They do, and they...
As evidenced by this week's.
Alright, next comment comes from... thank you, Ryugano, for your comment. But the next one comes from Neil Gavin, who says, can you guys make a reaction for Trailer 01, the movie Real X Time? That's amazing. And then Rajik Rasul says, yup. Can't wait for Hell Rising Hopper. That form gives me chills. What are your thoughts on the suit visual? Well, if you want my thoughts on the suit, or more specifically the Soto figure, I did a review of that Soto figure on Soto Pop, if you want to check that out. Hell yeah. But in terms of I don't know, we don't really do trailer reactions. I guess we could. People do that. I don't know. If we feel like it, sure. On my screen, Alex and Aerosol are both frozen, so I don't know. I don't know what their reactions to this
Oh,
information
I'm
are.
just watching the trailer right now.
Oh, what?
If you just stay put, I'll give my reaction.
Oh man, my internet is really not having it right now, and I'm very sorry if.
You can.
Yeah. All right. Hey, let's move on to the next comment. That is from Woo, who says, "I enjoy the episode. I enjoyed the episode. I can understand your guys' opinions on the Kento scenes in this episode. It was kind of stretched out for my liking as well, but I didn't mind it too much. I had seen worse death scenes in Tokyo. Looking at you, Ryu Soldier. For me, I don't know. I feel like the Ryu Soldier death was handled a lot better. You okay, Alex?
I'm just watching the trailer. This is the reaction.
Yeah. I liked, yeah. I didn't like that the death occurred in Ryu Soldier, but I do like how that scene played out.
Yeah, that was it was well shot though. Like if you gave us a little bit of a status quo with him, that would have been a lot better. But taken in a vacuum of hey, this is I guess not a vacuum, but like if you're setting it up for him to die, like you kind of get that early on, and it works out as a scene. This is not a Ryu Soldier review, but I did like it better than that one, than this week's. For me, I feel like Saber has gotten better since episode 9 or 10. Like it isn't something amazing, but isn't terrible as well. I do have some enjoyment with it. With this episode, I did like the interactions with the characters, such as Mei just dissing Kento for what he had been doing. Even though it was short, I did like seeing her serious for once. Then Buster being the leader towards everyone since Sophia is missing, probably got kidnapped by the lady of the southern base. Rintaro coming in, saving Toma by blocking Zuas. Yes, 3 O's. Attack was pretty neat. Just ignore the CGI in that scene, lol. Onto the end of the episode, we got to see Tassel finally making an actual appearance in the show, which I kind of expected since the beginning. There's no way this goofy-looking man had just been the narrator for the entire show. I wonder will you guys watch the second episode of Saber Special, which focuses on Kenzan. TV Nihon is the only sub for it at the moment, but it's pretty interesting. I'll read that once we see it, but I didn't know it was out through TV Nihon. We typically just go through Gundam Corp. I don't know what we'll do about that. We'll probably do something with it. Eventually we'll watch it. But all right, thank you for that perspective. I mean, there were good moments, and I did like the moment with Mei. So that was, but it wasn't too much of it because like the crux of the episode was Espada, and it was not good.
It was basically leading up to that scene.
Yeah.
So, and then that scene happened and just got the rest of it.
Yeah. The scene now reads to me like he's dramatically walking towards his death as if he knows, and it's like a completely preventable death. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright, next comment comes from Andy L, who says, I cannot understand both sides' thinking process. So villains wanted 6 main riders to open those gates, but Caliber tried to kill Kento because he is annoying and edgy. Then how suppose you guys open those door? Need to assume you can done it with Caliber's blade, I guess? And Kento, oh boy, so he found out those villains are repeating the old plan. He said nothing, tell no one. Then go to meet Caliber, who he knew so well he won't be able to beat. So basically, not only you let the team do all the things for the villains, you also gonna lose the fight, lose your life, and maybe your books and sword. So he single-handedly helped the villains with the weird plan and put his team in disadvantage. No wonder you are the Thunder Element Rider, because you literally the Thunder teammate as a slang, which means newbie / bad teammate in here.
Newbie.
Sorry, it squished the comment all the way down on my screen. Yeah, this was a bad plan.
Yeah.
Made even worse by how much it affected everyone else.
Yeah. Like, Espada's doing some really sus things right before this episode. I'm just like, calm it down. You're getting a bit too angsty. And they just like took all that angst, added like a pile of shit, and just shoved it through her, down her throat. I'm just like, God, no sand either. So like, that was definitely gonna kill him.
I'm really disappointed that the sand memes are gonna be gone now. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself.
Watch them fucking bury him in sand. That'd be the most poetic shit. Like, I might almost forgive this scene if they do that.
Alright, let's see. Is this the last one? I believe this is the last one. I'm not 100% sure, but let's go through it. This one comes from Rajik Rasul, who says, "Man, the actor of Espada must have slept through the night of film his death scene." Slept through the night. Oh, to film his death scene. Then again, this is freaking Kamen Rider. They always come back unless you're a robot or AI or a virus. Or reset the time or destroy the world like a certain naive king or of time or dimension traveling prick. Come on, don't laugh. Yes, it's done poorly, but he lost his oldest friend. But at the same time, a useless idiot friend. Next week, I'm excited for his upgrade form. Looks cool, and can't wait for Blade's upgrade form. Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, why was this common flag is potentially inappropriate?
Was it really?
Yeah.
What? I didn't know that. That's strange. I don't know what would have done it. Yeah, I have no idea, but
thanks.
Yeah, thanks for commenting anyway. Good job at somehow dodging the YouTube system and still getting in front of us, so that's good. Anyway, let me see. Yeah, we're just cycling back to the front. That's it. Guys, do you have anything else before we get out? Yeah, leave.
Yeah, we're fucking done, dude.
Alright, cool. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Like this episode if you like it. Comment on it if you want to talk or something. Subscribe to... Alex is already gone. Hey, support the Black Lives Matter movement by donating money, signing petitions, or watching videos. Link in the description and at the end card. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it.
You guys remember?
Oh my god! Wiggle waggle, wiggle waggle.
Yo, I'm up for this.
Oh man.
That was a long
It was. This was almost half an hour long. We are 29 minutes.